Hello guys, it's Tara, Monster High Love Me, and we finally got the trailer for everything Monster High coming out in 2022. So Monster High posted this trailer to their YouTube channel this morning, and we'll kind of go frame by frame because in this 40-second trailer they did show the dolls, some clips of the animated series, and the live action movie. I'll also refresh your mind about seasons, how many episodes, how long the episodes will be. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Alright, so with this commercial, I think it would be cool to compare it to the first ever Monster High commercial that released in 2010 and kind of go back and forth to see what's going on, what changed 12 years after it released. The spooktacular children of legendary monsters are back. I got super excited when I read that because if you remember in the first ever Monster High commercial, they said this.
Teen children of legendary monsters.
So they kind of did the same little saying. Instead of teenage though, they put spooktacular, and this had me wondering why they decided not to put teenage children. Is it because they're not, portrayed as teenagers? However, it is Monster High. You are a teenager in high school, but it is no secret that in this generation of Monster High, they are portrayed as much younger, almost like tweens, so maybe that's why. So then we see all of the G3 dolls. I've made several videos about these dolls if you are interested. And we see the dolls sitting on the steps of what looks like the high school. I'm wondering if this is actually how it's going to be portrayed in the animated series or if it's just like a shoot for the dolls. But just in case it is, here is in reference to OG Monster High, the high school, in the 3D animation. Here is the school up close, and then Дракулора kind of goes through the doors and meets the rest of the dolls. Then here they are all kind of posing. You can see the height differences and everything, and if you look in the back, there is a huge row of coffin lockers. Then they kind of introduce every character of their doll, the animated series, and their live action looks. I actually really love the font of Draculora's writing. I think that looks super cute. And those who have watched me for a while, watched my videos, follow my Instagram, whatever, you guys know my opinions on G3. You guys know that I don't really care for it or like it. I love the representation though, just not so much like the redesigns and everything. Дракулора is really the only one that I like. Definitely not more than the original, but of the redesigns, I do like her. Now we see our first ever clip of Дракулора in the animated series. She is wearing that witch hat because remember, she is still a vampire, but she loves practicing witchcraft on the side. That's a big part of the live action movie as well. She's hugging a book, and it looks like she's in Frankie's room. It is very reminiscent of Frankie's dorm room in the live action movie. I'm wondering if in the animated series, it's also kind of like a college dorm room situation where they all share rooms or they each have their own dorm room. I would love to see what Draculora's dorm room would look like and if she had a cool pink coffin, because her coffin in the live action movie was kind of disappointing. It was just plain brown. Then we see Дракулора with really wide eyes and she's looking at her hands. Maybe that's, where her magic comes from. And then we've all seen Draculora's music video, at least, I think most of us have. It's on Monster High's YouTube channel if you haven't seen it already. I think I've made a video on it as well. Then it's time to show off 𝗂𝘁'𝘀𝗀's doll. I have no idea what those yellow things beside her are, but I really like the wrap around Cleo. I really like the fonts they used. I don't know, I love that. Then we finally see 𝗂𝘁'𝘀𝘀 in the animated series. I'm curious to see if we ever get a doll in this outfit that she's wearing. It's weird that in the animated series, Cleo, is pretty dark, and the doll is not really dark at all. I feel like they should have made the doll the same skin color as she is in the animated series. Then of course we see Cleo in the live action movie. Is anyone else kind of tired of hearing about the live action movie? They have been talking about it since February of 2021, over a year, almost 2 years now, and they just keep posting teasers and scenes from the movie. It's just so crazy that it hasn't even come out yet, and it won't come out for another week and a half. It's just too much. Then we see Frankenstein's doll up close and in the animated series, which I thought this scene was interesting. They can catapult their arm and it has a string or wire attached. That's interesting. And this has me wondering, can they still detach their limbs fully or not? Because it's all full of wires. Frankie again, and this definitely is giving 2016 reboot vibes. I definitely think this animated series looks more like G2 than it does G1, which, was a little disappointing because I did not like G2 at all. I think for me, it's definitely definitely the color scheme over the designs with like the similarity, because in G2 that's when they really started toning down like the gothic, sometimes scary or spooky designs, and I think G3 is doing that as well. They want vibrancy, they want color, they don't want things to be dark anymore. So when you compare this to the 2010 commercial, you can definitely see the difference. Dark is definitely what they were going for, and I loved it. I think I've said this before, but when I was little, I was really into horror movies. Still am. Horror movies raised me, and that's why I wasn't really into like Barbie or, you know, other toy brands like that, because they were just too vibrant for me. They were too colorful. So I definitely am very glad that I grew up in the early 2000s when Monster High was a thing, because if I would, it's hard to tell, but if I was born today and, you know, I was growing up with this version of Monster High, I don't think I would have been the big Monster High fan that I am today. And this is just my personal opinion and my experience. If you love G3, I am genuinely happy for you. I'm sorry for returning viewers. I tend to say the same things a lot. I just know that not everyone watches all of my videos. You know, my videos vary in views a lot, so I just want to get my point across. Anyways, after all of that, we see Claudine's doll. She is sitting on a moon, and then we see her in the animated series, which we have, you know, seen glimpses of so far. She definitely looks a lot different than her 2010 version. Whether it's a good or bad version, I'll let you guys decide, but I'll just leave these photos here. Then we see Laguna Blue, and I love Neptuna in the little corner. And yep, we've all seen this moment, her eating a sandwich and then her roaring in the live action movie. And although this version of Laguna strays away a lot more so than other characters from their original persona, I still like this one scene in the live action movie with her teeth out, because it just looks like an actual monster. Then there's this one part in the commercial where Frankie is sitting, has their hands clapped together, creating electricity. Claudine's in the background, Laguna's right next to them, and then there's like that green classmate backgrounder. For some reason, Laguna decides to, you know, clap Frankie, and it seems to like hurt her, like the electricity. Don't know why. We definitely need some context on that. Then, of course, we see the last three dolls, Toralei, Ghoulia, and Deuce. I wonder why they included everyone's last name except for Toralei. Like, her last name is Stripe. And for whatever reason, Deuce pulls a sock out of his mouth. That's gross. I can definitely see the characters in this animated series being very like silly and goofy. You know, Deuce in OG Monster High was very cool. He had his shades on. This Deuce does not seem to be like that. And here is Miss Toralei. She definitely looks pretty mean in this. I mean, we all imagine she's going to be the villain in this, right? I'm wondering why they decided to do short hair for the animated series, but long hair with the doll. Kind of wish they did short hair both times around. Then there is a scene where Draculaura, Frankie, and Claudine are all hugging, and you can definitely see the texture in Claudine's face. She definitely has fur all the way around, which doesn't really make sense because Claudine was full werewolf in Monster High, and she did not have that skin texture, but in this version, she's actually half human. So it's weird that she looks more monster than she does in OG Monster High, where she was actually full monster. We see Draculaura hugging her father, Count Dracula, and then we see a little clip of Count Fabulous, Draculaura's pet. So from this voice actor casting sheet, we know that Heath will make an appearance in this as well, and I believe Twyla is casted for this, but I think she's only going to be in like 1 or 2 episodes. So I'm wondering if we are going to see like a full actual trailer for the animated series where we will see Twyla and Heath, or if we're just gonna have to wait till the show airs. All right, so now we'll talk about episode length. So first, this series will be on Nickelodeon, and it will be premiering in October of 2022. We don't know if they're gonna release the whole season all at once. I don't think so. They're probably gonna do 1 episode a week kind of thing. All right, so there will be 1 season. We don't know if there will be more seasons in the future, but as of right now, just 1 season, and it will contain 26 episodes, and each episode will be 20 minutes long, and I'm assuming that is without commercials. I posted this on my Instagram a while back when we got the character profiles of everyone in the animated series, so it is on my Instagram, or you can just pause to read in this YouTube video. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and as always, I say this every video, go ahead and follow my Instagram if you want more in real-time updates, and without further ado, I will see you guys in my next video.